state in America starts to open up in some form or another, we know everybody is eager to get outside. You want to go to the store, you want to see your friends, you want to get back to some sort of normal. So we're going to use the Dara Kass scale from 1 to 10 for places to gather. 1 is a great place to start, like your number 1 top choice, and 10 is at the bottom. Don't start there, don't pass go, don't collect $200. On a scale of 1 to 10, the gym is a solid 9.5. Just not the first place you want to start. You don't know who's been there before you. You don't know who's coming after you. You're not really sure what they're doing to clean. And let's be honest, it's a good time to run outside. A friend's house is probably a solid 2 to 3, depending on who the friend is and how you can start. Start on the stoop, maybe the driveway, maybe the backyard. Once you start engaging with a few of your friends, social distance apart, you really can start building out your circle, one other family at a time, maybe a couple of friends in a safe and predictable environment. So let's be honest, you've been home for 2, almost 3 months. It's time to get your hair cut, and you might even want a manicure. Where do you start? On a scale from 1 to 10, the haircut is probably a solid 4, depending on how the hairdresser is protecting themselves and protecting you. If you're the only person in the salon, the person is wearing a mask, and you understand that every engagement adds some element of risk, I would probably wear a mask too, just to add that extra layer of protection. A manicurist is probably a little bit riskier. You're sitting face to face as opposed to 2 different planes for a longer period of time, and you're really in close proximity. So I would say a manicure is probably closer to a 7 on the scale of 1 to 10, and probably not a risk I would take early on in the process. So restaurants are not all the same. And I think if we're going to look at a scale from 1 to 10, we need to break it down a little bit further. So if you're going to a restaurant at the beach or someplace with outdoor dining and the tables are far apart and you walk in with a mask and you sit down to your family and there's no overhead noise, a restaurant that's outside could solidly be in the lower half of the risk ratio, maybe a 4, maybe a 3.5. But once you start getting tables closer together, you start moving inside, your risk goes up. As the weather gets warmer and beaches and parks start filling up, we need to decide what exactly is safe. There are some parks that are even starting by drawing circles on the ground and actually telling people how far to sit apart. So honestly, a beach or a park with appropriate social distancing, wearing a mask when you get there, and sitting with the friends and family that you already know, probably still a 3 or a 4, a risk maybe worth taking early on in the gathering time. On the scale of where to gather, based on the Dara Kass scale of gathering, I would probably start with outside activities with people I can control that actually give me joy. Start small, people you know, wait, see how it goes, and then we go again.